What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to jump into another spooky episode of Local Diaries. So let's swing on in. So the last couple times we've played Dark World, we have played Mimikul, and I did promise Skull Servant. So we're gonna give the servants a chance to see if they can please their king, and we can just one punch our way to victory. So we are playing Skull Servant. So this is going to be a huge pile deck. I'm not a huge fan of pile decks. This is going to be the first time that we're piloting one in particular. There are a couple cards I wish I had, like that grass, but we're going to live without it. So let me show you our weird concoction that we are rolling with, and then we're going to see if we can please our master and topple locals. So let me show you the deck profile. All right, let me show you this heaping pile of cards that we are playing for tonight. So to kick things off, we are starting off with the one and only 3 copies of King of the Skull Servant with 3 copies of the new card White Lord. We do follow it up with 3 copies of Lady in White and 3 copies of Skull Servant, the OG. Just go to slide some things down here. We do then play 3 copies of White Princess, 3 copies of White Prince, and last but not least, 3 copies of White Baking for our Skull Servant engine. So if you look at this is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 different Skull Servant names. So this guy can be beefy, which is the end goal. It's just one punch. We just want to one punch our way to a victory. And so with our Skull Servant engine, we do play some sort of zombie line. This deck is going to look very weird. We're playing 3 copies of Mizuki, 2 Zombie World with 2 Banshee, and then 3 Super Poly. So because we are playing a lot of just ways to get things into our graveyard, whether it's milling or discarding, we are wanting to like somehow fuel this stuff into the graveyard so that way we can bring back our king or some of our other cards just to get advantage. Super Poly is just going to be really great, especially with Zombie World on the board, and then Banshee's Banshee. So, and we do play a Danger line. We are playing 3 copies of Danger Nessie, 1 Jackalope, 2 Bigfoot, 3 Mothman, 1 Thunderbird, and 1 Chupacabra. So we're playing these just because we do play 8s. The rest, the 4s are definitely for a reason, the 8s are for a reason. As for the Nessie and Jack, they're just kind of like there because they're good enough to just kind of help us push. And then we do play a small tier engine, which we just play 1 Sheeran, 1 Havnus, 1 Merly, 2 copies of Tier Cash, 3 Planet, 2 Soldic, and 1 King of the Swamp. So again, this is just kind of helping to get us to help mill. Merly and Tier Cash extremely well, just getting us to mill. Sheeran and Havnus, they're also there to help us mill, but like we do fuse too, so I mean we are relying on some fusion aspect for this deck just to kind of help push it into the right direction. Moving on to the extra deck, we are playing 1 copy of Grapha Dragon of the Dark World, 1 Tearlament Rukalos, 1 Dragon Necro Nethersoul Dragon, 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, 1 Predaprant Dragostapelia, 1 Garura, and 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So honestly, I can't remember the reason why I put this in the original build. There probably is a reason. I'm just not remembering what that reason was, because especially with it being a Super Poly target, there isn't a lot of darks being played in this meta, but I mean, if it catches people off guard, it catches people off guard, I guess. And we played 2 Xyz, 1 Minerva, and 1 Zombie Vampire. So these are mainly for that Danger line, because the Jack or the Bigfoot and Thunderbird are 8, so we're able to go into Zombie Vampire. We also can sacrifice any of our Fusion 8s to go into Zombie Vampire, which it's totally fine because the tier stuff will shuffle itself back into the deck anyhow. So I mean, we can always shuffle the material back to go into something. And then we play Links, 1 Almirage, 1 Anima, just because we need Link 1s, 1 IP, 1 Vampire Sucker, and then 1 Cerberus and 1 Unicorn. So I think this is supposed to be a Phoenix, or the IP is supposed to be a Phoenix. but I can't remember from my original build, so a lot of this is winging it. And honestly, it doesn't really matter because most of the times we're going sucker in this unicorn anyhow. And these are the other two that we're only, Anima and the Almirage are the only two that we're really going into. And then the fusions, most of the time we are going to be going into all of them, but we'll see what the case is tonight. And then for our side, we are playing one copy of Eldritch the Golden Lord. I just figured since it lets me send spells or traps, we can trigger off Soul Leak. That's really it. We then play 1-for-1 and Foolish Burial, again, just to help us get stuff in the grave. And then for going second, Dark Ruler No More and Evenly Matched, which kind of counterdict the way that we play the deck, but I also ran out of sleeves, so we're not going with a full side deck. So we're just kind of winging this as we go. I am excited to see how this plays out, to see how big we can just dump our little boys into the grave to fuel our big boy to hopefully just do a one punch with this guy. So let's head out to locals and see how we can do.
Woo! So round one, we play against Dark Magician, and here we are at locals. Ta-da! A little tired and out of it, but we're still here. So round one, we play against Dark Magician, and we let my opponent go first to see what kind of board they would establish and see if we can crack it. We did not draw the best of hands. He had a lot of interruptions, but we managed to solidify a board that was okay enough because Dark Magician couldn't OTK me. So on the clapback, we just went off. We went off. We saw the tier engine and just boom, we just popped. It was insane. And in game two, he made me go first and we popped off. He had no interruptions. He didn't see any of his hand traps. So we ended up with Vampire Striker, Garura, IP on board with Zombie World. So we were able to stop a lot of his plays with the Spellcaster engine that he plays with Dark Magician, obviously. And we just solidified it. We were cooking. So we take it on the clapback. We just build our entire deck out with White Lord, and then we just fused into a lot of different fusion monsters, swung over his board, and we took it. So 1-0 right now. We still got a lot of rounds left. So I'm not going to get too cocky because, gee, I got lucky. Round 2 and 3. Round 2, we play against Branded. Haven't seen this deck in a hot minute. Game 1, he goes first. Yeah, he goes first in game 1. He sets up Mirror Jade, Luvelian with Branded Lost and Pass. We top deck into Super Poly, so we Super Poly his board, and we're just going on the clapback. We had enough damage with King of the Skull Servants, but he booked the Eclipse. So he lives another turn. But he never activated the effective Mirror Jade during end phase, or during when it was sent. So we were able to dodge a destruction, and we did draw a crap ton, and then we just OTK'd him. Game 2, he went first again, and was able to set up a pretty similar board this time, but he had a Super Poly of his own with Droplet, and no, he didn't have the Eclipse. And we drew for turn, and then we were just hoping that our Skull Servant engine was just going to pull through. We saw Sheeran or the Planet, one of the two combos, I don't remember. But we were able to pop off, just get enough into the grave, cleared his board, and then just swung for 18,000 direct over a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So we were able to take it in game 2. And then on to round 3. Round 3, probably the worst matchup of the night. Cashier. He shot Shifter both games. We can't play through Shifter, so. And we didn't live long. He burned me in game 1, and then game 2, he could have burned me since I only had 500 life points left. Any effect I activated, we were dead, but he was merciful, and he just wanted to see what I could do, but didn't do anything because we didn't have any of the Skull Servant names we wanted, and he just had all the Cashiers on board, so we were done for. So 2-1 right now. Not too bad. We still got 2 more rounds left. Pile is pretty good when it works. When it pops, when it doesn't, it just left with a vanilla Skull Servant in your hand. We haven't used our side deck at all. We've just played with what we've got. I have definitely considered putting in the Eldritch because it would just be a good discard to get rid of back row, but we're still figuring it out. So let's see what rounds 4 and 5 got. So round 4, play against Grand Maju. Another shifter deck. So my opponent had 3 Ash, Cosmo, Shifter. There was no playing. There was no playing. It was just over. It was over. Yeah. And then on my side, I don't have any back row removal, but good times. Good times. So 2-2, one more round. See what happens. See what happens. Last and final round. Jank meets Jank. So we're playing another pile deck. Game 1, he makes me go first. So we go first. We set up an okay board. It wasn't the best of in hand. I think we ended on Minerva and like something else. With Zombie World Live, and then he Lightning Storm Zombie World, which was sad. But we survived a turn, got it back to me, and we were just able to mill the butt load, and King of the Skull Servant swung for Big Boy. Game 2, he makes me go first again. Same deal. It was an okay board, and then he just Kaiju, and OTK'd. Game 3, we made him go first this time. He set pass, we drew for turn, and we just popped off. We were milling, we were just hitting everything right, and whoo! He went Gizmic Roaching Battle, and I was like, all right, still in damage. Super Poly. And since we had Zombie World Live, we were able to go on Dragon Necro Soul and take the game with King of the Soul serving for 12,000. So to end 3-2 tonight, not too bad with a pile deck I've never played before, and we kind of like learned it on the fly because I've played Skull Servant tier at 40 cards. I have never played it more than 40, so this is the first time I've ever played a pile deck and a deck that's more than 40 or more than 50 for that matter. Definitely, if I had pushed it up to 70, it would have added things like Card Destruction, that grass is green, probably maybe a little bit more of a danger package, maybe even a tier, like a bigger tier package with Tier Scream, but I don't know. I think this is a one and done situation just for the holiday, for Halloween, but we'll see. I don't know where we'll place. There's 25 minutes left in the round. I think probably less now by the time I've finished talking, so I'll keep you posted on where we end. So at the end of the night, we take 7th, prizing with the top 8, so we made it. So we've topped so far with every Halloween deck. We've got a couple more lined up, ready to go. So that's it for this Local Diaries, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. I'll pass it over to you.